Good morning, everybody. It's Wanda from Pecan Grove. Today, it's just going to be a little Valentine's vlog. We're going to go around and show you some of the things that we're going to be doing today and incorporating a couple of giveaways. Yeah, so that's going to be awesome. Today, we're going to start here in the house. I'm in one of my rooms where I use as prep everything type room here. And I'm going to show you what I did yesterday. Chicken broth. Isn't that beautiful? Heidi and Tim brought me some chicken carcasses that they had in their freezer from their processing of a bunch of chickens. And she brought me 3 packs, and I made all this broth, had some for supper, and I have a quart and a pint in the fridge for tonight for supper. And yes, there's some of my pineapple starts that we're going to put out soon, but we've got one more cold spell coming. All right, so we're in the kitchen. I'm going to grab something to drink. We're headed outside. We're going to go find Danny, see what he's up to for our Valentine's vlog. Stay tuned because we are giving away 2 things, survival garden seed flowers and a Vego bed. Sometime during this video, we will tell you about those and what we're doing to give somebody a happy Valentine's Day gift. You may not get it for a couple of weeks, but you'll know it's on the way. Stay tuned.
This ain't fun. This is as bad as that building we had that time.
Pulling all that off?
This is coming all to pieces. It ain't just pulling off like it.
Because it's been sitting for a while?
Because it's been sitting.
Oh my.
It's done got hot on it. So,
Danny is putting my Vego beds together, so happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I spent yesterday... party yesterday, thinning out pecan trees with a chainsaw, and I came in last night, ate supper, took me a bath or a shower, and Miss Wanda was doing taxes and stuff. I said, well, I'm gonna kick back, take it easy, and I fell asleep in my recliner. Well, I woke up a little later and went to move my right leg, and my knee had gone out on me again.
And y'all, this is not the way this is going to look in a few months.
No.
Danny's in the process of putting things up. We just sat things in the floor for now.
I've had to clear an aisleway out through here because the 20-degree temperature is coming back. And I got to be able to hook up to my citrus trees on the trailer and pull that trailer back up in here and close the shop down so that the freeze don't kill my citrus trees, because a lot of them are loading up with blooms right now. I looked at the huckleberries in the woods. The huckleberries are completely loaded with blooms. My mulberry trees are leafing out. My peach trees are all leafing out. Everything's starting to put on leaves, and you know, here we go with that.
Last hard freeze.
Last hard freeze that usually gets everything.
But that side's looking okay. You kind of got... Ow.
Hang on, they're just falling over here. Yeah, I've got it. I'm pretty much getting stuff organized on the shelves. I'm just having to go through the boxes that we brought from Deepsouth over here, because everything just got thrown in boxes. And I have to go through each box, take stuff out, put it where it goes, and the whole upstairs is still just full up here. I don't even want to think about that yet.
And he did some decorating.
Well, I had to have somewhere to put them to get them out of the way right now, so I stuck.
Bucky has a new home out of the cabin. He's over here in the shop, and his friend is joining. Where'd you get the friend?
I won an archery contest for that. I got a free mount out of it. They had a bow hunting contest going on. And back then, that's been, gosh, 30 plus years ago. People just didn't bow hunt much back then. And I was, I originally had won first place, but a guy came in the day of the contest ending with a 5-point. And he actually won. He got the free bow and a free mount. I just got a free mount out of the deal. And yeah, back then I was deep into archery. That was a very uncommon for people back then to bow hunt very much. And I was a very avid hunter. I've killed 73 deer with a bow and arrow. And
was this one on the deep? Where was this one killed?
That one was actually taken in Pearl River County.
Okay. So what about the cat?
The cat, I had caught a wild hog in a trap on one of my farms, and I was going to kill her to eat her. And when I went out there the next morning, there was 13 babies in the pen with her. She had had 13 little ones that night. So I said, well, I'm not going to shoot her, so I let her stay with the little ones in the pen. Now, the little ones could get out and come outside in the woods and go back into the pen through the little holes in the bottom. And I got to noticing after about a week, every day or two, one of the little pigs would come up missing. And this pig was a vicious hog, you know, weighed about 400 pounds, big wild razorback female. And if you got close to that pen, she'd just go crazy, try to tear out and eat you, you know. So I said, well, I got down to like 6 or 8 babies left. And I said, I got to get the rest of them out of there because I thought she was eating them. So I derived me up a piece of conduit about 10 feet long, and I hooked a steel wire on one end of it, ran it through it, made a loop on the other end, and pulled it back and put a T-handle on it. And I'd reach over in that pen from the top, and I'd put it around one of them babies' necks, and I'd snatch it and pick him up and bring him over and put him in a trap that I had that I could move him away from there on. And I got them all out, moved them up to my barn and put them inside the barn where I could start feeding them and getting them used to me instead of being wild. And after that, I got to noticing around the pig pen was these big old cat tracks. So I tracked that cat through the woods down to where I found he was going under my fence, going into a swamp, and I set some steel traps there. And I come home from work one afternoon and ran off down there to check it. Well, it got dark before I got down to the woods, and I didn't have a flashlight with me. And the moon was just coming up. I got down to where that trap was at, and I ran my hand across the ground, because I mean, I know how to run my hands without getting caught in a trap, and I was feeling around for the trap because I was a trapper, and I didn't feel the trap. And I reached my hand over on the post, and I felt the chain on the post, and the chain was going up the post. And I happened to look up above me, and I saw this big old giant cat up on that post up above me, sitting there looking at me, or at least I thought he was. And I kind of started rolling across the ground until I got far enough away from him. I picked up a piece of fat pine lighter that was in the swamp right there, and I threw it and hit the cat. Well, he didn't make no noise. He didn't move or anything like that. So I got a little closer to it and took a long stick and kind of started poking him until I could get where I could see him. And there was a fence there, and he had tried to go up that fence, and he had got himself caught in that fence, and he had hung himself. And so I got him. I had him mounted. The squirrel was taken at Deepsouth Homestead in the creek bottom down in there. Bucky here, I had a bunch of little bitty small yearlings that was jumping the fence over where the cabin is built at Deepsouth Homestead. And I went down there with my .22 rifle. I was going to shoot one of those yearlings to have to eat because I didn't want to damage all the meat. And I climbed up in my tree stand and was sitting there looking at the fence, and this big joker walked out and stood there and looked 15 feet from me, and I put a 22 bullet through his lungs, and he didn't even run. He just stood there. I popped him one time through his rib cage, and he just kept standing there. And I started to shoot him again, and I said, no, if I do, he's going to run, because I saw blood running down his side, and it took about 4 minutes, I guess, before he stumbled down and fell and died. And he weighed 209 pounds. I had to go get the tractor with the bush hog to come get him, and I had him mounted. The other 2 sets of horns here, I killed them in Winston County, Mississippi. There were 2 bucks running together about 200 yards from me. I shot both of them, killed both of them. The raccoon, I got, he just kept messing around with everything I had in my barn. I finally trapped him and caught him, and I thought I'd have him mounted just as a conversation piece. So,
and the fish.
The fish, my father and I was fishing one time, and my dad was the kind of person who only fished with ultralight tackle. He was a brim fisherman, and he had a little old bitty reel and rod that, I guess the reel was about 1.25 inches in diameter, and the little rod was about 4 foot long. It was a little tiny, real limber. He liked to catch brim on it, and it felt like he had a whale on it, you know. And he hooked into that big joker with that ultralight with a beetle spin on it. And it took him close to an hour for him to get that fish wore down, because he moved his drag up on it where it wouldn't break it. And that was a 2-pound test line. And he kept just giving him slack, reeling, giving him slack, reeling. It took about an hour. And he finally wore that fish down. But he got him up close enough to the boat. We took a dip net and picked him up and got him in the boat. And he took him and had him mounted at one taxidermist. And we had went on a little bit further in the lake. And my dad told me, he said, son, watch out. There's a big moccasin in the water up there in front of you in that grass. And I looked and I told him, I said, Dad, that's not a moccasin. I said, that's the fins off of the back of a big female bass. So I grabbed the dip net and I reached out in there and picked that bass up out of that grass. And my dad told me, he said, if I didn't see that, I would never believe it happened. So mine weighed 10 3/4 pounds. This one here was 7 and something. So he took his to one taxidermist. I took mine to another taxidermist, because I lived in a whole different county than my dad did. I waited about 6 weeks, and I called the taxidermist back to ask him how my fish was going, and then he proceeded to tell me I never brought him a fish. And so, long story short, I never got mine back. He swore I never brought him a fish, because when I took the fish to him, he was still alive in a live well, and I'm pretty sure that fish either went in his lake or in his belly somewhere. You know, he probably ate him, but or mine would be right there beside that one. But that's where the animals all come from. Just kind of a short story with the animals up there. And today I'm sitting here. I had all these big plans to do Miss Wanda a Valentine's thing. Of course, now it's going to turn off and it's going to freeze, so I can't do everything I want to do. And then my knee got messed up, and I can't go out and do the digging and all I wanted to do. So I said, well, we'll just come into the shop and I'll sit down and we'll start taking the plastic off of the Vego beds. And to be honest with you, that has turned into more of a chore than I ever anticipated that it would. The other Vego beds, you can just rip it right off of them. But for some reason, because I've left this one sitting in the box for, I don't know how long, several months?
2 or 3. We've had them at least 2 months, maybe longer.
Well, I know we've had them at 2 to 3 months or longer. In my shop out here, this plastic has adhered to the metal, and it don't want to come off. And it comes off, but you got to get it off in little pieces. And okay, guys, I'm going to sit here and patiently try to work with this and get this plastic off of here. Miss Wanda's got to go run and do some things. So stay with us. We're going to do a survival garden seed giveaway. And as we promised, we're going to do another Vego bed giveaway. So stay with us, and we'll see if we can't make that happen.
Guys, Danny's working on this bed. Is this a 6-in-1?
Yeah.
This is the Vego 6-in-1. It has 6 different ways you can make this Vego bed, and he's making it in a rectangle 3 by 5 or 3.5 by 5.5 or something like that.
Yeah, this actually has a name to it.
This is the novel.
Yeah, the novel. Yeah.
The novel has this smooth section in here where the original has a hump all the way up. And so I like the looks of the novel plus the color. I love the color here.
It matches the prepper shack.
Yeah. So going to be giving one of these away. That's going to be one of the giveaways. I can't remember if it's a 6-in-1 or a 9-in-1. The 9 has 9 different components that you can make. This one has 6.
I really like, to be honest with you, I like these because these come with a magnetic system here that the others don't come with. This here, it's got 2 magnets on the back of it, and you just snap it to the bed, and it tells you, you know, if you want to put on there.
You can write on it. You can put like stickies on it or whatever. Yeah. But in the weather down here and down south, anything sticky on it's going to go away and come off.
Right.
But you can write on it with like a, what do you call them, dry erase?
Yeah. And
then erase off and keep going. So that is an awesome.
That's a feature that I like on these, because if this is a carrot bed and you're wondering what you put in that bed, you know, you can write carrots on it, I mean, or whatever.
But I mean, I've got them on my others and I never write anything on them because y'all know me, I don't do stickers. So Vego bed is going to be one, probably your choice of the 6-in-1 or the 9-in-1. The other thing that we're going to add to this, one person will get both. They will get the Vego bed and the survival garden seeds. Now, Survival Garden Seeds has this 36 heirloom seed packet kit. So we're going to be giving away this kit, and it has a lot of beautiful, functional flowers. And just to show you a few, marigolds, milkweed, pansies, corn poppies, California poppies, phlox, sunflowers, bellflowers, calendula, echinacea, daisies, lavender, forget-me-nots, evening primrose. So I have chosen out of all these to add a few things to some beds that I'm going to be doing, and they're all in a pink and bluish and purplish color. Now, so the ones that I have chosen are the blue flax, the bellflower, the annual phlox, the painted daisies, the Shasta daisies, the Cape daisy, the lavender, the evening primrose, and the forget-me-nots. All of them are in shades of pinks and blues and lavenders. So those are going to go in one spot by themselves. Mr. Bart sent us some seeds, and some of them are okra and some are cowpeas that we're going to be giving away probably Saturday night, and some Sweet Williams. So I'm going to add the Sweet Williams, a pack of them, to my stash, and we're going to see if we can grow those somewhere here. So Survival Garden Seeds is going to be one of the giveaways. How do you win Survival Garden Seeds and a Vego bed for Valentine's? So we ask that you be a subscriber to Pecan Grove, number 1. Number 2, in the comment section below, tell us about your Valentine's sweetheart. Whether it's your wife, your husband, your partner, whatever, tell us about them in 2 sentences, not 2 long sentences because it'll take us forever to read them, but 2 short, quick sentences. Tell us something about your sweetheart, and we will pick somebody from the comments to send both the Survival Garden Seeds and the Vego bed to. For my Valentine's, not only is Danny doing these 2 beds, and they won't be finished for Valentine's. They will go in front of the prepper shack, and they will be done over the next few days, so it won't make it just for Valentine's, but it is a Valentine's Day project, and I will be planting some of the Survival Garden Seeds. That both of the 2 planters that he's working on will be my flower garden. Also, we're going to create a rose garden over here. I had one at Deepsouth and I loved it, and I started to dig it up, but I decided not to, so I bought new roses. This one is a John F. Kennedy. It is a hybrid tea. It's a white rose. Now, this was the only one that did not say it was fragrant, but I wanted a white rose, and that this was the only white rose that they had at the time. All the other 4 are a fragrant rose. This one is the Tiffany. It is a pink look, and it's a beautiful little rose with a fragrant scent. Then we have the Rainbow Samba. This one is a mixture of pink, yellow, and red. It's orangish red color mixture. So I wanted a mixture, kind of like a peace rose. This one is St. Joseph's Coat. It is more of a deep yellow that fades into an orange-ish red at the end. And then the Mr. Lincoln. It is a deep red rose. So the last 4 are fragrant. We're going to be creating a rose garden somewhere, and I will be adding to those as I find other fragrant roses. I want all my roses except for the John F. Kennedy, which is not going to be fragrant, but the rest of them will make up for that one, I believe. All right, guys, I'm headed in to fix lunch. If you want the Survival Garden Seed Functional Flower Garden Kit and the Vego bed, in the comments section, please tell us 2 small sentences about your Valentine's friend. Thank you, guys, from Pecan Grove.